Back. We've got this creamed here. Thanks, but it took both Lisa and I to get that done. Our butter wasn't as soft as it could have been, but anyway, that's what creamed together sugar and what?
Butter.
And butter looks like. Sorry. What's the next ingredient, Lisa?
Okay, to that we're going to add a tablespoon of black treacle, but we don't have black treacle, so I think we can use molasses.
That's the plan. So we're going to put a tablespoon of molasses in this. So molasses is, it's the running this stuff eventually. There we go. Well, if this wasn't time to tell a joke, I don't know what is, but here we are. This is funny. I don't think molasses is sweet. Some people think it's really sweet. I don't. But that's okay. So let's get that in there. Is that about a teaspoon, you reckon?
Tablespoon?
Tablespoon? Yeah, sorry. Let's call that a tablespoon because this is taking forever. And we'll dump this in here like that. And then we're going to use an illegal finger to wipe it out. That's okay. A little bit more in. Hard to get a little bit more of that in there, but anyway, there you go. Lisa, what's next?
Okay, so give that a good mix up.
Okay. This is a good, that's pretty thick, I tell you. Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to add our eggs to that.
Okay, boys, it's time for you to give your all. So here we go.
So my mom says if you put a little tablespoon, a little bit of flour into the mix, it'll stop it going weird and curdly.
Okay, that's what we're going to do then. So let's get the boys in here first.
Okay.
Nothing like these thick eggshells, you know.
It's my mustache.
And the last one to go in. And Lisa, why don't you toss a little bit of flour in there while I'm getting rid of these?
Okay. Well, I toss the flour in. Do you want to rescue that piece of eggshell? Because I know it'll be in my slice of cake.
Oh, where's it at? I don't see any eggshell. Where is it? Oh, all right. Oh, that piece of eggshell. Well, yeah, if we're gonna worry about it, yes. Okay. And then we're gonna mix this
that
together.
all together.
All right. A whisk might have been a better tool for this. What do you reckon?
Maybe. First time, so, you know.
Yeah, I think a whisk would work better, so I'm gonna find one. There may be some edits in this, kids, depending on how long it goes, but just bear with us. It's the first time we've made this, and we're doing it in real time, so that's working a bit better there, I think. Getting a bit lumpy here, but we're gonna stir it until we get the lumps out of it. What happens after this, Lisa?
After this, we will mix in the flour.
Okay. What do you reckon? A bit lumpy?
Chuck it in. That's
Bit
the
of
worst
flour?
that can happen.
All right, put a bit of flour in and see what happens here. So, to put the flour in a little bit at a time. Maybe that'll help smooth it out. I don't know. I think it's chunks of butter that are in there, so. Bit more flour. I wonder if I should have sifted that in. Well, it is what it is.
Next year.
Next cake. This doesn't work. We'll have to make another one.
Oh dear.
Let's get more rum. How's it look?
Looks good to me.
Look all right? Okay. Let's dump the rest of it in there. See what happens.
We went on camera and stick my finger in and test it.
We can do that in just a moment. Let me get this all mixed in, and then we'll see what we got. Looks like cake batter to me. It's smoothed out too nicely. Look.
Nicely done.
Now, what I hope is going to happen is that flour that's in the sides there is going to get picked up once we get the
Yeah, once we get our liquid in it, we'll be
more
good.
liquid in there, then I think we'll be able to be in better shape.
All right, that's good. That's some spices.
'Kay.
How about a teaspoon of mixed spice?
Well, what is mixed spice, Lisa?
I don't know all the ingredients, but I know it's like ginger and nutmeg and maybe some cinnamon, maybe some cloves. Not sure. Those kinds of spicy spices.
Nice, good spices. We got none of that, kids. So what we're going to use is Chinese 5 spice because that's the closest we
want
got.
a teaspoon, yeah.
Yeah, there's a teaspoon. So here's a teaspoon of Chinese. Oh shit, that's all right.
Close enough.
Teaspoon of Chinese 5 spice. And what else?
And half a teaspoon of nutmeg.
All right, nutmeg is a actual nut. This is what it looks like, and Lisa's going to handle this because every time I try to grind nutmeg in to something, I drop the nut into the whatever I'm grinding it into. So I'm hoping that Lisa has better luck. We shall see. So we did a half teaspoon, which I think is going to be like half a nut.
All right. All right.
Go ahead, knock yourself out. Nicely done. I would have dropped it by this time under normal circumstances.
Shh, don't jinx me.
Oh, sorry. Whoops, oopsie.
The trick is not to grate your knuckles into it at the same time.
How's that going?
Well, so far so good, but that look like about half a teaspoon gone.
Let's see. How much is? A little bit more. A little bit more. Nutmeg is good, so let's give it a bit more of that.
Well, it is.
Close enough. Sounds good to me.
Give it a tap.
We'll give it a whack, and we're good. Very nice. Fresh nutmeg smells delicious. Once Lisa gets back to her camera position, oh, that smells really good. You smell it?
I do.
Smells really nice. What's the next thing that goes in?
Alright, we're going to put in some nuts. So we're going to have 2 ounces of ground almonds
There we go. Almonds we've already ground, so that goes in.
and 2.5 ounces of chopped almonds.
There they are, and there they go.
Alright.
Okay.
And then, whenever you're ready, you can mix in all your lovely soaked fruit.
Okay, well, let me change. Well, no, we'll leave that there. Let's go ahead and get the soaked fruit. Here it is. It's been soaking for 2 days. It smells really good. So we're going to put that in here, along with all its associated liquid and everything. Yumbo. Don't want to miss any of it. Yumbo. And we're going to woof, woof, mix that in. And we're just going to have to take a minute here and thoroughly mix this. Lisa, have you made one of these before?
For a long, long time. And
If you can
there's
cast your
different
memory back,
methods.
does
Different
this
people have different methods of making it.
does this look approximately right?
Yeah, it looks a bit runny actually.
Well, it's a cake batter, so and it has a lot of booze in it, so that's. I'm gonna switch from this to a spoon so I can scrape the sides.
So when it's done, it's supposed to be pretty thick so that it just drops off the spoon.
I think it's going to be a little bit thinner than that. We could just wing it, or we could add a bit more flour.
Let's have a drop off the spoon. I think a bit more flour.
A bit more flour,
I
all
do,
right.
yeah.
We'll add a bit more flour.
It's supposed to be really, really thick and gooey.
Okay, we're going to get a spoon here, and we're going to add a tablespoon of flour. It's about a tablespoon of flour.
Give us another.
Another one?
It's supposed to, yeah, because it's supposed to be really thick and gooey.
Okay. All right, let's mix that in. We'll do the fold, or just the mix, depending on your point of view. First time we've done this, so we'll see what we've got here. That's considerably thicker. Well, I can feel it already. what once we get this right, Lisa, what's the next step?
And that's it. The next step is to put it in your special little tins
Okay.
and put it in the oven. How's that for thickness, do you think?
Thicker, but still pretty loose. Bit more?
Yeah, we're looking at the recipe, but I think it'll be, I think it's better thicker.
Let's put in 2 more spoons
Yeah,
and call it a day.
right.
We did have a lot of
I think we had
liquid.
a lot of extra liquid from the boozy fruit. So.
That's all right. It's good. It'll be delicious at the end of the day.
Yes. And as my mum said, if it doesn't turn out right, we can always have it with custard or ice cream.
Yes, you can hide it. Yes, but that's all right. I'm sure it's going to be fine. So what we've done, kids, is we've got a couple of bread tins. Normally, you would use one big tin for this. We got a couple of bread tins, and we've put butter in them, and then we've lined them with baking paper, so the cake will easily come out. We're going to put this in, and then we're going to bake it. Well, we'll talk about that in just a second, but this is considerably thicker.
Does it need to be tasted?
Well, I think it does. I think that's you. How's this? Is this still too loose?
No, I think that'll be fine.
All right, it'll be fine. Lisa's going to go in for a taste.
Not putting my finger in as it's, being polite and all that.
Oh dear. All right. How's it seem? Is it good?
Okay, now you're not supposed to taste this because it has raw eggs in it. So,
But
I just wanted to make sure
that it was
it was
okay.
the right flavor.
All right. So here's what the baking tin looks like. Again, it's a loaf tin. We put a butter in it to make the paper stick. Then we got the paper inside. We put the stuff inside of this, the batter inside of this, so that when we go to tip it out, it won't stick to the pan. So I'm going to try to fill this about halfway full, I think.
Yeah. Well, I reckon if you do both loaf pans about equal, you should be
Yeah,
in good condition.
that's what I'm thinking about doing here.
Is it ready yet?
No, it's not quite ready yet. We're going to talk about that next. So, what is the recommended? I'm going to explain this to the kids. What is the recommended baking temperature and time? So, the standard temperature and time is what?
Well, if we were doing it in one big tin, so normally you would do it in a big tin about 9 or 10 inches square or round. And for that, we would put it in the middle shelf of the oven on gas mark 1 for 3 to 4 hours.
Ooh. So 3 to 4 hours, kids, is a long time to make a cake. You can ask your mother. What, Lisa, is gas mark 1? What does that mean?
Well, gas mark 1 is an old temperature measurement. And so now it's in either centigrade or Celsius in England now, or Fahrenheit here. So gas mark 1 for us is about 275 Fahrenheit. So that's quite a low temperature oven.
I think it's around 190 Celsius. Does that
Okay.
sound about right?
Maybe.
Okay. Just to show you kids that there's a difference in the way people take temperature and people measure the temperature over there and so
I
forth.
think it's quite a bit. No, it's less than 190.
So less than 190?
Yeah.
How does this look, Lisa, in terms of filling?
I think good.
Okay.
I was hoping there'd be a bit left over, but that's
No, I'm sorry. It's all going in. It's all going in. So what we're going to do, kids, is we're going to bake this. Now, 3 to 4 hours is if it was all together in one cake tin, and that's a long time. You bake this low and slow so that it doesn't burn, but also so that it stays moist. Moist is what these cakes are all about. So because we don't know what we're doing here, because this is a different kind of pan, you see we kind of flattened it down a little bit. This cake probably isn't going to rise much because of the density of it. So what we're going to, and there's no baking powder or baking soda, you'll notice. So what we're going to do is we're going to bake it for an hour at a time and check it and see when it's done. And I'm betting it's going to be done in about 2 hours. So we'll come back to you when the cakes are done, and that'll be our next video and show you what the next step is like. In the meantime, of course, we miss you and we love you, and we'll talk to you soon.